What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Low Luxury, and welcome back to Low Luxury Archive, where we are still diving deep into the archives of Demna Gvasalia's Balenciaga, and it has been a rocky road for the brand lately, okay? We lost their Twitter account, which, listen, I'm not knocking them for that. That's probably for the best right now. Things are really imploding. We lost Ye from the first look of their recent runway show, and that one was definitely deserved. But look, we're leaving all the drama behind. We're leaving all the other stuff behind, and we're taking a look at an archival, chef's kiss kind of piece from Balenciaga, because today we've got these bad boys. Yeah, they're jeans, but that doesn't really do it justice, because take a look at this. Boom, boom, dual tone logos, metal logos, super wide legs. I am so excited to check these out with you guys. So we're gonna take a look at the details of these. We're gonna see where they came from, and we're gonna try them on, tell you how they feel, how they fit. But not just that, we are also gonna put a fit together, so let's get into it. My cat is just going insane back there. I'm sorry. Yo. Before we get too much further, subscribe to the channel. I make tons of luxury and streetwear content. And also, if you're looking for deals on luxury and streetwear, check the description. I've got some of the best sites with all authentic stuff. Check it out. Okay, we're back on the Vogue runway page for Balenciaga. We've got every last Balenciaga collection right here at our fingertips, but we don't have to go back too far here. We've just got to go back a few collections to fall 2021. So even though like the metaverse was not a thing yet at this point, this was really the turning point where Balenciaga started to go digital, getting into avatars, video games, virtual reality, all of that stuff. And you can obviously see it in these looks. Like, these are not real people. These are digital avatars, 3D models. But this collection is crazy. It's kind of like matrixy, very dark, a lot of blacks, fading, distressing, but also like chainmail, like with these shoes. Those are like super grail shoes. I'll probably never have a pair because people want thousands of dollars for them. But you can see just, I don't know, the mainline collections, I guess I'll call them, the fall and spring, not like pre-collections, not resort collections, but the core runway shows in spring and fall are like really where Demna decides to push the brand forward and pick out new kind of design elements and new themes to play with. And this is where you start diving super, super hard into that kind of digital reality, right? But you've got some really old references as well, of course, with the armor, but you also get some retro elements as well. For instance, take a look at these slashed pants. I don't know, these kinds of looks, they remind me like very 80s, kind of like hackers, like 90s what a mainstream person thought of as like a hacker raver is the kind of vibe that Demna's playing with here. Super, super distressed stuff, layering. Demna's like in his zone right here. And speaking of retro, we've got our pants, and I would consider these retro in some ways, but I will say they kind of did these jeans dirty here. They did not show these off in nearly the appropriate way, because this look, it's kind of stained or otherwise. You've got like a red check stole giant scarf kind of thing going on here. You've got these like molded flip-flops, and then you've got these jeans, but the way he's standing, you're hiding the fact that they're two-tone. And there's a lot of really cool elements of branding going on here as well that are kind of lost. So that's unfortunate for this runway show because the piece is so cool. But obviously this is the look that we're going to use as our inspiration, and I hope I can show off these jeans more properly than Demna did in this look. It's a rare miss for Demna, where he's not showcasing his products in the best way. But this is it. This is the look. All right, now that we know where these jeans came from, let's take a look at the details. All right, here they are. And I gotta say, these things, they get so wide that it was hard even finding like enough free space to free these up to lay them out. That is how big they are. They're wide, they're long, and I've got a pretty small waist, so I like the way that they just like kind of balloon out here. But of course, 50-50 split, branding, it's got everything. But before we dive in too far, let's take a look at the tags inside. So this piece, as with many of the more recent Balenciaga pieces, is listed as Unifit. And that means that this is not menswear, it's not women's wear, it's completely genderless. Demna is saying, hey, anyone who wants to wear this, this is for you. We're not splitting it off in any way. So I really appreciate that. But obviously it means the tag is wider because they need to fit this extra Unifit word underneath the logo, but otherwise pretty standard white on black. Now let's take a look at these care tags. So first we get this size, which is small. So something to note on a lot of these Unifit pieces, they're not giving measurements, like it's not 30, 32, etc., or 46, 48. They're just doing small, medium, large, and extra large, which can make it hard to choose the right size for you, but really it just goes like small 30, medium 32, and so on, in my experience. On the care tags themselves, you get that logo up top. Then we see that these were made in Italy. A lot of Balenciaga denim these days is made in Japan, but these ones, they went with Italy. We get our model number and everything down at the bottom. And let's see what these are made of. So they are, I would not have expected this. These are 60% cotton, 40% polyester for one fabric. Okay, I wonder which. You don't see a lot of splits like that in denim. But then the other half, it looks like, is 100% cotton. So two really totally different fabrications here. And then they've got your materials for like the embroidery and the pocket lining and so on and so forth. All right, let's take a look at these details. And I really want to start off by looking at the elements of branding. So most obviously from the front, you've got this embroidered logo right here. It's like the script logo that they use every once in a while, but also kind of like a rare logo print. You don't see it on too many pieces, but it's just really cleanly embroidered in there in red. And you can see it's also got a black outline to it, which is important to note. Then off on the other half, the lighter half, we get a logo tag coming off the side. And this one, they've taken like their BB monogram and inverted it. So it looks more like DB, but it's just like a mirrored B. So it's still BB for Balenciaga. And instead of a registered logo, you get a B in a circle up in the top right. And that is on both sides of this. So whether you're looking at somebody from the front or back, you still get that logo tag. And one thing you might miss just looking at it from a distance is another embroidered logo here. Right in this zipping on like the fly, you actually get Balenciaga stitched in like a gray beige kind of color. That's really cool, and honestly, the first few times I looked at this piece, I didn't even see it, and I had it right in front of me. So it's really cool, but also really subtle. But when we flip these over on the back, we get by far the biggest elements of branding in a few places. So first you have this crazy melty embroidered patch here. So it's like a barcode, but just a bit wavy and stuff. And then it comes down and in like a kind of like black metal almost way spells out Balenciaga at the bottom. It actually reminds me of a lot of some of the older Vetements stuff that Demna was doing. And that is in silver, again with like black outlining. And then on the other pocket, we get a little leather patch here. Let's take a look at this. This is stitched down on all four sides, and again it's that DB logo, but with Balenciaga spelled out in lowercase underneath. That's really cool, and it's right in the center of this kind of cross here. Man, there is so much going on with these jeans, I can't even handle it. But if we follow up to the waistband now, we've got our logo patch, in this case, Balenciaga jeans. On a lot of their more recent denim products, they make it look like a diffusion line or something, but it's all still Balenciaga. They just kind of, for fun, spell out Balenciaga jeans. Kind of like a Calvin Klein jean sort of thing, you know? And that's pretty much all the branding here, unless you want to count the more subtle elements. For instance, if we take a look at the buttons here, again, spell out Balenciaga jeans, big one and then smaller going down here. I will note this is a button fly, kind of the bane of my existence, but I made an exception for these. And even these guys around the pockets are branded and say Balenciaga in them. All right, now let's talk a bit about this split half and half nature and talk more about those fabrications. So we saw that one of these halves is 100% cotton and the other has a lot of polyester in it. And I think I can guess. So this side, it's a really, really light blue wash. Like you can see even the elements of that wash around here in some different colorations. You can see this has like a stringiness to it. It's much thinner and softer than the other half. So I have a feeling that this one is the polyester, whereas this darker blue feels much more like the classic denim you would expect, like from a pair of Levi's or something like that. We've already talked a bit about this stitching, but there are some really cool elements as you go down the legs, especially on this side. So you can see right down here at the bottom of the leg, you get a split off stitch just for, I don't really understand why it's there honestly, but it just gives the bottom of those legs a little bit of extra interest where usually there's nothing really going on in a pair of jeans. And if we look to the back, we get like one of my favorite elements on these, which is a cargo pocket, like a carpenter cargo pocket. You've got a diagonal one going here, so that could fit like your entire phone or something like that. You could fit a bunch of stuff up in there. And then a second pocket right here. So that goes right around the side in the back. And I really, really love that element there. We're going to talk about the sizing real soon, but one last thing I wanted to note here is that this is a long pair of jeans. And for that reason, you'll note that they actually made the rise very, very dropped. Like, let me zoom out here. So here is where they end. Your fly is all the way up there. So that's like a massive amount, way more than your average pair of jeans. So that's your rise right there. It's probably about 2 feet, if I'd be willing to guess. And I'm guessing the reason for that is because they expect people to wear these very high-waisted. It's really the only way, unless you're like 7 feet tall, the only way to get away with wearing these is high-waisted. So that's why that rise is so insane. But it's really cool. It leads to a really, really cool fit. All right, now that we've seen the details, it is time to try these on. But first, we've got to put a fit together. All right, so while I am definitely going to be taking inspiration from this original fit, I'm actually going to take quite a few big liberties here as well. And that's because, for one, again, they really weren't showing off these jeans well, but second, I just don't have a giant red plaid scarf. But I am going to be taking that inspiration from this stole or scarf or whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to be using this insane Feng Chen Wang, like, turtleneck cape. It's insane. You won't get it till you see it, but wow, this thing is crazy. I am going to keep to the red and use this super oversized Raf Simons Calvin Klein 205 West 39 NYC polo. Wow, that's a mouthful. And for the flip-flops, we're going to go with our Yeezy slides here. So yeah, we're taking some cues from that original look, but we're really going off on our own as well. So let's have some fun and throw these on. Ooh, these things are so awesome and super comfortable too. And you know, even though we went kind of our own way with this look, the inspiration's really solid. I like never would have put these pieces together on my own, but just super wild. So let's talk about that fit. We already touched on it, but this is tagged a size small, and I think it's perfect for like a 30 waist. Especially, like I said, you end up wearing this higher up on your waist anyway, where at least for me, my waist up here is thinner than my hips. So, you know, belt might be needed there. But anyway, long story short, I'd say small 30, medium 32, I would assume, and so on and so forth. As for the feel, these are fantastic. That lighter side is so soft and really moves with you, whereas the darker side, like I said, is a much more solid denim, but they don't feel like you're wearing two completely different pieces of clothing on either side. They move together, they flow really well together, and I really like it. As I said, they're super long. I'm 5'10", and they land like right at the end of my foot. So that's actually perfect because I think the length looks really good, first of all, with this wide leg, but also it means that once you put shoes on, the ends of these, the hem on the legs, is going to fall just before the ground. So you're unlikely, if you're tall enough, that you're ever going to be like stepping on the back of them and ruining them, which I'm super grateful for. All of the branding, of course, is insane. If you're a Balenciaga fan and you want people to know you're wearing Balenciaga, you really can't go wrong with these. My favorite, I'd say, is that kind of like barcode patch at the back. I think that looks awesome. Of course, you get some utility as well out of that cargo pocket. The regular pockets at your sides, they're really deep. A big pet peeve of mine is when pockets are too small to fit my phone. So, like, these are checking all of the boxes. And now, finally, the final question, why are these worth archiving? Why do these go in the archive? Well, Obviously, this fall 2021 collection was a really big one. A lot of grails out of that collection, so I definitely want to archive some of that. But also, this is not the first time that Demna has split pairs of pants. He's done it before, sometimes vertically, like halfway down the leg, switching colors, but he's also done it half and half, like blue and black. So I just felt it was really important to have that dichotomy, the bi-color denim, represented in the archive. And I'm super glad that it's this pair because these are incredible. So I think that's it for these double jeans. I love these so much. Thanks for watching. Take a look at the other video on screen here. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll see you next time.